Dan Brown was born in Exeter, New Hampshire on June 22, 1964. He was the eldest of 3 children. His father, Richard Brown, was a math teacher at Phillips Exeter Academy. Richard had also been a bestseller, having written the celebrated mathematics textbook Advanced Mathematics. His abilities as a math teacher led him to being awarded the Presidential Award for Excellence in Science and Mathematics. His mother, Constance, was a professional musician involved in performing sacred music. Throughout his life, Dan Brown was influenced by Christian values. As a child, he sang in the church choir and attended church camp on multiple occasions. Even with all the controversy surrounding his famous books, he has on many occasions called himself a committed Christian. Dan Brown graduated from Phillips Exeter Academy in 1982. While attending Amherst College, Brown lived on the Exeter campus with his parents. He graduated with a degree in English and Spanish in 1986, and he spent several subsequent years attempting to establish himself as a pianist and singer-songwriter. He composed 5 CDs, one of which was Angels and Demons in 1994, and a more recent CD, Musica Animalia, in 2003. With only marginal success and extensive trial and error, he landed in Los Angeles, where he taught Spanish at Beverly Hills Prep. It was in LA where he also met Blythe Newland. Newland was employed as an artistic director of the National Academy of Songwriters, and as their relationship developed, Blythe used her influence in attempts to further Dan Brown's musical career. Despite Dan Brown's accepted musical talents, his preppy and slightly reserved manner contributed only to an inability to gain insufficient appreciation as an artist. In 1993, he decided to return to New Hampshire, and Blythe Newland accompanied him. He secured a job teaching English at Phillips Exeter Academy. In 1995, Dan Brown and Blythe decided to write under the name Danielle Brown. Their first book was called 187 Men to Avoid, a guide for the romantically frustrated women. It was written to appeal to the young and old females looking for Mr. Right and those that have been down the road of marriage and hope to travel it again. The following year, Dan Brown became a full-time writer, and he asked Blythe to marry him. Shortly after their marriage in 1998, he published their first thriller called Digital Fortress. It starts with the NSA discovering a code for a virus that will destroy the nation's firewall and encryption systems. He went on to write Angels and Demons, which was published in 2000. It landed as New York Times #1 best-selling book of the year. It entails an old feud between the church and science on the subject of creation. One of the world's most brilliant scientists, Leonardo Vetra, has discovered how to separate matter into individual particles. A sacred group of scientists, the Illuminati, kill Leonardo Vetra and steal a matter particle. They intend to destroy Vatican City and end religion altogether, unless Harvard symbologist Robert Langdon can find the path of light and stop the Illuminati before the clock ticks midnight. Director Ron Howard produced a film based on this novel, and it released in 2009. Tom Hanks plays Robert Langdon in the movie.
Angels and Demons is I liken it to, it's a horse race, and it's loaded with subtext. I mean, Langdon himself enters into the beginning of this with a huge agenda already vis-a-vis the Vatican and everything, and the organization of the church, with a great knowledge of what the rituals are.
Dan was not done yet. In March of 2006, he published The Da Vinci Code. It sold 6,000 copies on the first day and went straight to the top of New York Times bestseller list in the first week of publication. In fact, the New York Times staff loved their preview copies so much, they openly endorsed it as a wow just prior to publication. Unfortunately, in February 2006, prior to the release of Dan Brown's Da Vinci Code, the authors of The Holy Blood and Holy Grail attempted to sue Dan for plagiarism. Both of these books discuss the similar ideas of Christ being married to Mary Magdalene and their children marrying into the line of French royalty. Dan replied to the accusation saying, "Suggesting a married Jesus is one thing, but questioning the resurrection undermines the very heart of Christian belief." A deal had been made between Columbia Pictures and Ron Howard for a multi-million-dollar film adaptation of the Da Vinci Code novel. It starred Tom Hanks as Harvard symbologist Robert Langdon.
Dear God.
A murder that hides a message, a code.
This is a message your grandfather left you.
He left us.
Only he can break.
Professor Harry.
Demons, omens, codes, monks. Da Vinci.
I'm into something here that I cannot understand.
We are in the middle of a war, one that's been going on forever. To protect a secret so powerful that if revealed, it would devastate the very foundations of mankind.
What are you talking about?
You asked what would be worth killing for. witnessed the biggest cover-up in human history.
Dan Brown just released his third book, The Lost Symbol. It is an action-packed 600-page thriller that takes place over 12 hours. Robert Langdon is back to crack codes in the nation's capital, Washington, D.C.
Why the nation's capital?
Washington, D.C. has everything that Rome, Paris, and London have in the way of great architecture, great power bases. Washington has obelisks and pyramids and underground tunnels and great art and a whole shadow world that we really don't see.
One of the main groups in this book are Freemasons.
Sure.
Give me Freemasonry for Dummies. Give me the 101 on it. Why is this group fascinating?
They are fascinating because we live in a world where different cultures are killing each other over whose version of God is accurate. And here you have an organization, a global organization, that is spiritual and yet will bring Muslims, Jews, Christians, and even just people who are confused about the religion, bring them together and say, look, we all agree that there's some good big thing out there, but we're not going to put a label on it. Let's worship together.
So basically all Freemasons agree there is a supreme being.
Yes.
They believe that we are all created equal and are all equals. They live by a strict code of morals and ethics. Why are they fascinating? Where's the mystery in the Freemasons?
Well, the mystery is in their origins and in the fact that they have managed to remain pretty secret. Their rituals are arcane, and you sort of catch snippets of what their rituals are like, and you can really see a lot of what happens within the organization. This is a book that I would love to read.
That's the best review. The author would read this
That's
book.
Right.
There you go.
So when's the next book, and what will that be about? Brown joked about that, saying since The Lost Symbol took him 6 years to write, his wife Blythe might seek a different husband if he were to go ahead and start the next one right now.